Hey, yo, how's it going? And welcome back to CueBall's Bearded Rambles. Now, today I have a handsome fellow with me here to my left or right, however it's going to transition. I have Reach Wrestling's very own Farmstrong Toby Valentine.
How you doing, CueBall? Thanks for having me on, brother.
Man, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's good to have you on, man. Yeah, Saturday. Let's briefly talk about Saturday quickly before we go into anything else. RWS in Amesbury, battle at the Bowman Centre. That was all right, wasn't it?
It was all right. Yeah, first time you and me teaming together. You know, brought Logan along for the ride.
Yeah,
Gave all the Colt boys a good beating. I think it was a very productive Saturday, if I can say so myself.
Yeah, I think so. You had Nephilim, who is the RWS Tag Team Champion. But anyway.
Yeah, funny that, yeah.
And you've kicked his ass, what, twice, I think it is now?
Twice, yeah. Drilled him twice with the greener pastures. So it's I'm sure he's a bit sore still now, probably.
Probably is. I'm sore when I watched it.
Yeah.
But then later on in the evening, where the dirty shenanigans went on with the Colt, with Kenny Mantra, I needed two guys to team up with, and also I came to you because of the Farmstrong. I needed a Farmstrong in there, and I went to an RWS original, Logan. Spoiler alert: we got it done, like you said.
Of course we did.
Yeah, because it was a T-shirt. Because I left it on by mistake, and it was just that. I think that's what done it.
That's what it was. It's the power of the Farmstrong T-shirt, which you can get if you message me privately on Instagram or Facebook, just so everyone knows. But that's exactly what it was. Spurred us on to victory.
Yeah, it was, most definitely. And if you want to be Farmstrong like myself and Toby Valentine himself, then yeah, buy his merch. Farmstrong.
Buy my merch.
Buy his merch.
Absolutely.
So we're going to get into the questions. But first, Toby, I want to know something. Jeez. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
No, Toby, I said, are you ready?
Oh, I'm so hyped now. Yes, I'm so ready.
Then, for the two in attendance, and for the dozens and dozens watching at home, let's get ready to rumble. Toby, how and why did you get into wrestling?
Oh, so my heart's going. I'm all fired up now. Back to Inside Voices. So I got into wrestling really, really young. I was probably 4 or 5 when the story goes, I've been told over and over, flicking through channels, not paying attention to anything, just pressing the button, until I came across the 2001 draft, which was happening on, I think it was on Raw. And there was just a segment where I think Triple H had been drafted somewhere, or it was something like that, or maybe it was The Undertaker. And, flicking, and then boom, like stopped and transfixed on watching the wrestling. And it's been like that ever since. I started with the WWE, but, as I got older, my taste in wrestling got older. So, if you talk to anyone who knows me quite well, they'll say, that I don't really watch much stuff past 1991, probably. My wrestling taste is back in the 80s, but I've, studied, wrestling history and become such a, big fan of that sort of stuff. And then I always wanted to try it, but always put it off because, I don't know, I thought, not big enough or not, good enough, athletic enough, whatever the reason in your own head why you don't do it. But then one day I just finally plucked up the courage when I was 20 or 21, and dove in, and here we are now.
There we go. The Farmstrong was born, baby.
Absolutely.
So that's a lovely story. It's a nice story.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
That's okay. It's the best one this season. It beat Jack.
Hey, I'll take that.
Yeah. So Reach Academy, you are based at Reach Academy, which is in Plymouth. Let's talk about that. So what's the training be like down there? Obviously, we spoke to Besty last week, your bitter enemy, and he went in depth about how it was for him. So I want to know how the Reach Academy has been with you.
Oh, I mean, the Reach Academy, everyone there can't say enough good stuff, about it. We've got a great setup there, our own, private unit, which has, wrestling rings set up all the time. There's training multiple times a week. And we have some, really great coaches. So Jason King is obviously the founder, one of the co-founders of Reach Wrestling, along with Grayson Reeves. I know you know Jason quite well.
Yeah, he's watching.
Yeah, exactly. And along with those two, we're lucky enough to have the English Lion Eddie Ryan as one of our coaches there. And he came on a little while into my training, and it's just been, really beneficial to have him there, and I've learned so much. You can learn a lot from that man in just one session, so having him there and having Jason there, who Jason is, he's the ultimate drill sergeant. He will, if you don't want to get into shape, you have no choice, because, he'll make, he's so good at pushing you to be better all the time, and,
Good.
Making you want to be better. So because of that, we have so many great, really well-driven athletes and future wrestlers in the academy who all got really good attitudes, because they've just been taught really well. And it's great. Can't say enough good things about it.
Yeah, I must admit, that's one thing that, like, when you first came down to RWS, for example, like it was you, Besty, Heath, I think Ruby Mayer came down with you, Echo Reed and all that. The first thing I remember thinking was their attitude's awesome. And it's quite, it's not that it's rare, but it's quite, uncommon when you come across a really good bunch of guys, where they come from. And I remember messaging Jason, saying, your guys really, really, their attitude's awesome. And, it's refreshing, if you will,
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things that we kind of, we do want that sort of feedback to get back to Jason, because we've had it from a couple of people. We have different groups. Obviously we have our small group that does the RWS shows, which is fantastic. Great. We're really grateful to have the opportunity to be there. But we have guys who go to different promotions all over the place, and they tend to always get quite good feedback from promoters or from more experienced wrestlers who are on that show, who are happy when we're there. Everyone is taught, go around, introduce yourself, be polite, ask if you can help with the ring, put it up, take it down, everything else that we need to do. It's taught to us, but it should be a common courtesy for everyone to do, really. But it's really great that extra part is put into us at Reach, and we're grateful for it.
Yeah, most definitely. So let's rewind. Your first day at Reach Wrestling, the Reach Academy. Sorry. Yes. Do you remember? Yeah.
Oh, I remember.
So you do all your drills and all that, to start. Then you take your first bump. Right, it's time to take your first bumps. This is how you do a back bump. Boom. What's going through your head at the time?
See, this is weird, because
mine was like, fucking hell.
See, this is the thing. I always hear such dramatic stories about people's first bump. I always remember hearing, was it Sasha Banks' story about the first bump she ever took and knocked herself out clean, and had to come to, and I hear that sometimes. My first bump was fine. I don't know why. I think it was because I'd watched enough wrestling and studied enough wrestling and been enough of a nerd about it to know what I was supposed to do,
right? So
that it wasn't that bad. It was the different sort of world of fitness of wrestling that got me, because I've played rugby throughout my life, and football, and I've done jiu-jitsu and other martial arts, but just being in there and running ropes and hitting bumps and picking guys up and putting them down and all that sort of stuff, it's a different world. And when I first did that, those first couple of sessions, that's the do or die part, where it's like, well, I don't know if I can do this. That's the part that I had to push through. Bumps, fine, I'll take bumps all day long. But having to have that level of fitness, that's the real killer, 100%.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, because you do get guys who have played rugby or have done some sort of karate or whatever it is, and they say, "Oh, it's a bit different. The cardio side of things is really different. The transition is really different." And yeah, it's crazy to think, isn't it? But you know, it is what it is.
Definitely.
So, we're going to talk about your road to the Reach Academy title. And it hasn't really been pleasant, if you will, has it? I mean,
hasn't been smooth.
Yeah, it hasn't been smooth. So, you know, I'm a follower of yours, and I am a fan of yours, as you can tell. I'm a fan of Toby Valentine. Oh, whatever. Anyway.
Good man, CueBall's.
Obviously, you know, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, but you won the Christmas Rumble at Unit 10 back in Christmas time, obviously.
Yeah.
That gained you the number one contendership to have a match, for the Reach Academy title. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm right.
Yep. You are right.
Right. But before the bell rang between yourself and Jordan, there was a slight twist. It became a 2-on-1 handicap match between Jordan and Victor of the House of Cards versus you. What was going through your head at that time? You know, you're there, you're ready. It's like, come on in, Jordan, I'll kick your ass. And then it's like, whoa, hang on, pal, hang on.
No.
This big bad Jordan, dude.
Yes, Jordan. You know, Jordan is a tremendous athlete. You know, he's a great wrestler, great champion, in shape. You know, he's all these things, but he's also a bit of a coward, and he's very cerebral as well. He, you know, got a lot going on upstairs, and I think after the Christmas Rumble, where I threw him around, you know, through the air and over the ropes and to the outside and all that stuff, he knew that going one-on-one with me for that Reach Academy Championship probably wasn't the best thing for him.
Yeah.
And, you know, luckily for him, he's managed to grab onto Jason King's coattails and has been given a lot of power and a lot of freedom to do whatever he wants. So he was able to skirt out of that one-on-one match for the Reach Academy title and bring in Victor Brady. But luckily for me, I got backup of my own.
You have friends.
And I got Alexander Gray in there to back me up and be my tag team partner. And we put a good beating on the House of Cards. It didn't exactly work out how we planned it. I took an almighty spear and still feel that one today a little bit. But, you know, it's not the opportunity that I was hoping for, but there'll be more to come. I'm sure of that.
Well, hopefully there will, because they're crafty, aren't they? They're crafty. The House of Cards are crafty buggers. They really are.
They are certainly crafty. It helps that he runs the company. You know, that really does.
Well,
really
I didn't want to say that.
You know, hey, we can say whatever we want on here, CueBall.
That's true. Hey, that's true. Yeah, we do.
It's your bearded rambles. We can say whatever we want.
It's true. So, you know, you've done this match and everything going on. You know, you've teamed up with Xander Gray. What's going through your head? What are your thoughts? I mean, if it was me, I think I'd be a bit like, you know. But then we fast forward into the time. We fast forward as well, and then if I'm getting this right as well, Xander Gray becomes the new Reach Academy champion.
He does indeed.
So you had your opportunity. You had your opportunity taken away like that because Jordan was a coward.
Yeah. And
then your tag team partner at the last event, Unit 10, becomes champ. What's going on? What happened? What is going through your head?
You know, unbelievable. That day was so amazing. You know, the Guildhall in Plymouth, we had 656 people in there, you know, packed to the rafters, beautiful building. And after not getting my one-on-one match with Jordan, you know, it became your opportunity is now you get to be in the Rumble for the Academy title. That was my opportunity. So the plan was take that opportunity and, you know, run with it, take the Academy title, throw Jordan over the top rope in the process. That was a sweetener. Yeah. And I nearly did it as well. You know, I got down to the final three. It got down to me, Jordan, and Alexander Gray. And, you know, unfortunately for me, Jordan is very slippery, and he's got a few dirty tricks up his sleeve. I was hanging on the apron, hanging on the edge, and he, you know, raked the eyes and slapped the hands, and that was all she wrote for me. But, you know, I'm happy for Alexander Gray. He had his own problems with Jordan and with the House of Cards, and he's a guy, you know, he's been doing this for, you know, 5 years or more. And, you know, he's worked hard to, you know, I'm still in my first year. I've worked very hard, but so is Alexander Gray, and he deserves to win that Reach Academy Championship. Doesn't mean that it's not eventually coming home with me, because it absolutely is. You know, the road's not over. It's just a speed bump. But I will be Reach Academy champion one day, but I got no hard feelings towards Alexander Gray. He definitely deserves it.
Very nice, very nice. So April 9th is Reach Academy's next show. It's a YouTube show, I believe. Mm-hmm. So what are you doing for this then? What's going on here? Is this going to be another one of your opportunities to get this title? Or
unfortunately, right now, I'm not in that title picture. It's going to be Jordan has pretty much immediately, you know, decided he's getting his rematch. He's entitled to a rematch for the Reach Academy title, so he's going to be facing Alexander Gray in the main event of Unit 10 Live on April 9th, and that's going to be the Academy title match. So I need something to do. I need an opponent. I need something to take my frustrations out on, you know, because even though I'm happy for Alexander and there's no hard feelings, I'm still mad that I didn't.
Yeah.
You know, so funnily enough, there's a certain wrestler here at the Reach Academy, Carl Parker, who I've had run-ins with before, who at the minute is going on a bit of a campaign where he's getting more serious, getting more intense. He wants to stop being overlooked, and he's issuing an open challenge for April 9th.
Okay.
Unit 10 Live. So maybe watch this space, and we'll just see. We'll see who accepts that open challenge, and we could be in for something very special.
No, maybe. So it didn't really occur to you that you should go for Victor, maybe. You know, you've had issues with one quarter or whatever of the House of Cards. He's doing his own thing. Why not go for Victor? Why not go for Jason?
It's a very good point. I mean, thankfully for all of us, literally everybody else in the entire world, nearly every member of the House of Cards lost in the Guildhall. You know, Victor Brady lost his title to Andy Notman, Red Hot Andy Knott, the BWC representative, and Jason brilliantly lost the Reach Heavyweight title in, I think it was something like 16 seconds or something amazing like that, to the English Lion, Eddie Ryan. So, you know, those guys are spending their days and spending their time licking their wounds at the minute. So I think they're staying away in the background for a little while, leaving it all up to Jordan and Aurora, the new women's champion, to
yes, of course,
do heavy lifting. So
Jordan,
I don't think we need to worry too much about them for a minute.
So some might say Jordan and Aurora are carrying the House of Cards right now.
Some would say that. You know, it wouldn't be too wrong either, I don't think. You know.
Well, whenever you get up to at the Reach Academy Unit 10 show, good luck. I hope you win.
Thank you, sir.
I will be rooting for you. I will be watching. I have subscribed to the Reach Wrestling YouTube channel. You should all do it. Cheap plug.
Absolutely, yes. Get on that. Press the button.
The subscribe button, which it's not going to be here. It's going to be in the description below. That's where it's going to be, because that's the YouTube thing to do, isn't it? I don't know. I've been doing YouTube now for a year or something. I still don't know what I'm doing.
It doesn't make any sense to me either. No.
And the fact that people come on here to listen to me talk. Why do you do it? I don't know. But
hey, I don't blame them at all. I think you're a very charismatic man, CueBall. That's what I think. So I don't blame the dozens and dozens. I think they're valid.
I think they're bored and got nothing else better to do with their time. That's what it is.
Could be that too.
Yeah, it could be that. So we're going to move on now. So last week, for anybody who hasn't watched, I had your bitter enemy on here, Besty. And he had a few choice words about you. I mean, I just innocent question. What is your problem with Toby? And I said it maybe it's because he was jealous because you're the golden boy. Apparently, from what I've been told, I've been hearing things in the wind from Wales. Apparently, so obviously, you said you watched what he said. So, what is your response to him?
Oh, so this thing with Besty's been going on for a really long time. My first match on a live show, my first match outside of Reach was against Besty at EPM. You were there.
I filmed it as well.
You did. You were there, hiding behind the curtain, filming on the phone. I still appreciate that, by the way. And from that day, when no matter what he says, he did cheat to win. He raked my eyes before he hit me with a big lariat. He can say whatever he wants, but he did cheat to beat me. And he cheats to get by with a lot of things. Well, that's the kind of guy that he is.
You see, this is what I'm going to say about it, okay? Now, in my past, I've been known to be, I've been known to cheat. But is it cheating or is it creatively winning?
Well, in the rules of the sport, it would be classed as cheating. But, guys like Besty, Jack, he likes to, justify it in his own mind that, he did what he had to win or whatever it was, when all the truth of the matter is he couldn't beat me fair. He could never beat me fair, and that's why he has to resort to cheating every time.
Yeah.
His message that he's got is that he's this working class hero and he doesn't care about the rules or authority or what anyone says. But all that it really is he's not as good as he wants to be.
Yeah.
So he takes shortcuts to get there. That's the kind of person that he is.
I mean,
and he's got a vendetta against me. I don't particularly know why. But
I know why. I don't know why I got that for. That's my brush.
Please tell me.
It's because he told me off camera. So this is between me and you, right? It's because you got more hair than him. Now I can understand that. You have glorious locks. I can understand. I think
jealousy is a horrible color, and as much, I appreciate that. Thank you for saying that about my hair. That's very nice. But do you think that's a valid enough reason to constantly be berating me on social media?
Oh, God, no.
Sticking his fingers in my eyes and kicking me in the, my private area?
Yeah.
Do you think that's a valid reason? Because he's jealous of my hair? There's creams and pills that you can use for hair.
They don't really work, to be honest. I think they're just the advertising fad kind of thing. I don't know. I'm bold myself. I don't know if you noticed. I am bold myself. There we go. You see.
Oh, those shiny. Yes.
Yes. It's a bit nippy in here as well, but
I just want hats on. I see.
Yeah. But no, it just baffles me why he has a problem with you. I mean, then he's got his friend, his brother in arms, Heath as well. The silly thing about that is I'm not sure if they're friends either, because
no, I don't think they are.
Because they had that fine from last year, and Besty only put 2 pence towards it, and Heath done the other £9,998. Is that a real friend?
It's a very uneven partnership between the two of them.
Yeah, but as they say, Northern culture is for all. Apparently, that's what they say.
That is what they say. I'm not sure exactly how true that statement is, but that is what they say.
I mean, if they came up to you and said, Toby, we'd like you to be part of the Northern culture, would you accept?
Well, as a person who is as Southern as you can possibly get, it would be a hard sell. And I don't believe in their message that what they claim to be their message that Northern culture is for everybody. I think they're a team of two guys who are, a means to an end for each other. They're hoping to propel each other on instead of fighting on their own. And that's not the kind of thing that I'm here for. As much as I love being a member of CueBall's army, because I'm a proud member, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm also, a singles competitor. So, joining up with a team like Northern Culture, I don't think is my future.
No, that's fair enough. I don't blame you. So we're going to move on. that's hope Bestie might start crying after he's watched this, maybe, because there's some strong
I'm gonna
words.
say something.
There's
If
some
we can
strong
take
words.
anything, if we can take anything from away from today, it's that Jack's gonna post something on social media, and that's
Could be a meme. It normally is a meme.
Could be a meme. He does like those.
They are quite funny. Yeah, they are quite funny.
Hey,
that popped me. I must admit, that popped me when you popped one of his moves. But anyway,
allegedly.
Yeah, maybe. So obviously, outside of reach now, I know you've worked for Southwest Wrestling, and you've said yourself, like backstage, how much of a great time you've had there and all that. So let's hear let's hear a bit about Southwest Wrestling then.
Oh, Southwest Wrestling is a great company. I've only been fortunate enough to go there the one time so far. I'm hoping to go back. But I was lucky enough to wrestle there in Gloucester, in the Gloucester Guildhall, against Country Big, who is a phenomenal heavyweight wrestler and someone who I've never met a human being who hits harder than Country Big. He's like freight train, but it's a great company and a great atmosphere. They got some really great wrestlers there. Great champions, Sheik Sham and LA Taylor. The House, Chris Bronson and Chris Adams, they're tag champs. Just talent everywhere. Really good fans, and their owner is a great man. Very fair. So yeah, I say a lot of good. If I'm ever asked, I say a lot of good stuff about Southwest Wrestling. They're a very good company, and they put on some great shows. Really, really good shows.
I would agree. They've definitely
You've been there yourself, have you not?
Many moons ago when they first came about, yes, and I was probably the most out of shape person you could ever think of back then. Yeah, it's one of them bad sort of times, 20 and a half stone of pure fat at the time, but live and learn kind of thing,
Of course, definitely not like that these days, CueBall. Very svelte.
I'm 14 and a half stone now. I'm just gonna put that out there. I can hear the cheers now.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah,
they're not cheers. so obviously you've had your time in RWS now, Ring Wrestling Stars. I would say you've had a very successful career so far in RWS by beating Nephilim a few times. Just overall, really, I think you're a hit with the fans as well. You're probably one of the most over guys there, and yeah, obviously, without being whatever, let's hear a bit about RWS from your mouth, kind of thing.
Yeah, of course. RWS. So I came to RWS originally with Ruby, who is the current ladies champion.
She is.
There at Ring Wrestling Stars, a very dominant champion as well.
Yeah, you've got to say that though, haven't you? Yeah, but
I do. She'll beat me up otherwise. She does that. She's very proud and tough, and violent. But anyway, I came to Ring Wrestling Stars with Ruby and had a great time, and was lucky enough to be asked to be part of the show one day. I had my first match against Neff. That was at the Blandford Corn Exchange. I remember it well.
Right, yeah.
And that was a good day for me. Good win for me. And since then, another handful of matches at RWS, and I've enjoyed every one. It's another place where it's just a fantastic atmosphere. Between the locker room, the wrestlers there are all great people. Really, they're very welcoming, and it's a great atmosphere in the back, and also out in front of the fans. They're great fans, welcoming, supportive. We get to do our meet and greets at Ring Wrestling Stars, where we get to interact with the fans, signing autographs and selling T-shirts and things like that. I enjoy it every time I go to Ring Wrestling Stars, and I hope that I, get more chances to show the fans there what I can do, and more matches.
So, given the opportunity, who would you like to face next? Get rid of you've beaten Nephilim enough times now. You don't need to worry about that chump. Give him a chance to step in the ring with somebody. Who is it going to be?
Oof. It's a very good question.
mean,
There
maybe
are
you
some
could go for
talented guys.
maybe you could go for Big D and
Oh,
possibly take the title off that big dude.
I could possibly take the title off Big D, although
There
Big
would be no
D,
hard feelings here, trust me, if you take it off him.
Big D, not just of course a very good friend and a very great tackling partner. He's a good friend of mine, and right now, still being fairly new into my RWS career, I think his title, the heavyweight title, maybe a little bit further out of reach, but maybe somebody who you've had your own run-ins with lately, Mr. Kenny Mantra, the leader of the cult.
Yeah.
Maybe his belt is closer to me than Big D's belt. So maybe if I could pick anyone, choose any match, I'll face Kenny Mantra for his title.
Yeah. Be careful though, because he has his minions.
Yes, I have noticed the powder last time. That was something.
It took me a while to sort of see again, but it's all good. It's okay. We're moving. We just move on from it, and so
get your asses in future. That's the plan.
Yeah, focus. We just focus on the future now, and that's it. Whatever. So, what is next for Toby Valentine? What is next for him? Where does he want to go? Where does he want to be? Where's the road of Toby going to be taking him in the next, I don't know, let's say 10 years?
10 years. Oh my goodness.
No. Okay, let's go back then. Let's say 5 years then.
5 years. Okay. Well, I mean the aim, if I could decide my own fate, I want to go everywhere. I want to wrestle everywhere, up and down the country. There are a load of promotions that I haven't had the chance to work for yet, who I'd love to get in the door and show them what I could do. Even, closer to home here in the Southwest and South Wales and South of England, there's, UPW and Immortal, and I can see that lovely Carnage belt there.
Carnage, there we go. Might have a box downstairs. It's just too heavy.
Oh, of course. All that gold weighs you down, CueBall. That's what it is.
I know.
Yeah. But, there's a lot of companies that I'd like to go to. And I mean, like I said, my first ever live show match, hasn't even been a year ago yet. So there's a lot of time to go. But I mean, in 5 years' time, I'd like to think that I could wrestle for a company like Rev Pro or Progress or ICW, or maybe, make my way abroad. I'd love to go to the States. I'd love to go to Japan, Canada, all these places. And of course, the ultimate aim is and always will be the NWA. So who knows, 5 years, 10 years, that could be the place that I'll be. But, for now, it's getting everywhere I can, wrestling as much as I can, new opponents, new companies, new belts, everywhere that I can. That's the plan.
Very nice. I'm interested to know why you didn't say WWE or TNA and why you said NWA. Because that's a good one, because I love the fact you said the NWA. So, yeah, why NWA and not WWE or AEW or TNA or whatever?
I mean, like I said before, anyone who knows me knows that I love the old style wrestling, the old stuff, anything sort of 70s and 80s, US territory wrestling. That's my bread and butter. That's what I watch over and over.
Smoky Mountain and all that, is it?
Smoky Mountain, absolutely, in Mid-South and Jim Crockett Promotions, all of that. And the NWA is sort of the last sort of vassal of that old territory style wrestling. It's changed from what it used to be. It's not exactly the same, but they still hold a lot of the same tradition. The studio wrestling that they do for their power shows on YouTube and stuff like that, and the style of wrestling and the way it's set up, and it's just the prestige, and the tradition. You see the NWA and you think, that is 75 years of professional wrestling, and the greatest wrestlers of all time have, wrestled for the NWA and held the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. So if I could be part of that, that is my, the loftiest dreams that I have in pro wrestling are to have the world's heavyweight title, 10 pounds of gold. And, everything I do is working towards that aim and being on that list of guys to hold that belt.
Very nice. I love it. Well, good luck. I wish you all the best, obviously. I want to see you on the TV. I want to see you in NWA. I want to see your name everywhere, man. That's what I want for you. But
thank you. I appreciate that. You don't know how much I appreciate it.
I know. So, how would you like to be remembered when everything has been said and done for Toby Valentine? How would you like to be remembered?
Oh, that's such a good question. I mean, I'd like to be remembered as someone who, you know, people enjoyed watching wrestling. You know, better than most people, the feeling of coming out of a curtain on a wrestling show and hearing people cheer, hearing people, you know, chant along your name, or, you know, for you getting the old Queen clap going, or the, you know, cheering you. That feeling is better than anything else. Absolutely. Hey, I love the thing. Ooh. And you know, I'd like to, you know, and I like I said about the RWS meet and greets, where you get to talk to the fans and, you know, take pictures and sign autographs, and, you know, hearing in those sorts of situations people saying, you know, oh, you know, you're my, you know, one of the kids saying, oh, you're my favorite, or, you know, your match was my favorite. It's that kind of thing that, you know, really sort of makes it, you know, worth it to me, and makes me feel good, you know, that sort of interaction and that sort of feedback. So I think I'd just like to be remembered as a guy that people enjoyed watching wrestle and made people happy when they saw him. I think that's what I'd like.
Nice. Good. Hopefully that'll happen as well. My last question for you, maybe, unless I think of something else, which I might do. I might do. It's all called on the fly. Well, it's not.
Oh, absolutely.
Some of it is called on the fly. We'll be going home in a minute. So, where can the listeners or the watchers find you on social media, or with your next upcoming shows? Where can we find you?
Oh, okay. So, as far as social media goes, I'm on Instagram. It's at Toby Valentine 14, and I'm on Facebook just as Toby Valentine. Hopefully it comes up when you search it. And then you can find me quite often on YouTube, or if you go to Reach Wrestling at YouTube, you'll see all of our previous episodes of Unit 10, or our sort of regular occurring YouTube show. And coming up soon, we are going to have our first ever Unit 10 live here in Plymouth. That's going to be April 9th. For all users hold out, but hopefully, you know, you get to see it in some form or another on YouTube or wherever. And, you know, there's dates coming up. If you keep up with my social media, you'll know where to find me. So hopefully I'll see you all there.
Be there or be square.
Absolutely.
Well, so, I told you I had another question, you see.
Here we go.
So, Farmstrong, what does that mean exactly? You know, is it a case, I live on a farm and I'm strong? Is that what it is, or is there?
I mean, there's probably some elements towards that. You know, I've never been described as the brightest bulb in the pile, so you know that could have been it. But you know, it's more a case of, you know, I tried to explain it before. You know, it's not about being big and being strong and hitting hard and that sort of thing, although that helps. It's more about your attitude. You know, if you're farm strong, then you work hard and you know, put everything you have into everything that you do, and you try and be a good person, and you stand up for what you believe in and always give it your all. I think that's what farm strong means. It's just, you know, a lot less letters and a lot less words, so it fits on a t-shirt.
Nice. Love it. Love the meaning behind it. That's cool. That's awesome. So yeah, I'm Farmstrong.
Yes, you are, CueBall. Absolutely, you are.
Yes, I feel the power, man. I feel the power. I'm gonna be the hay bale lifting.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Animal feeding, bald-headed brother CueBall. Maybe.
Yeah.
But that's it. So that concludes today's episode of CueBall's Bearded Rambles. Toby, thank you very much for coming on, man. It's been a pleasure speaking to you, and hopefully this last bit isn't going to be awkward, like I said to you before we press record.
Oh, I'm sure it won't be. No, thank you very much, CueBall. I really appreciate having on. It's always great talking to you. You're a great man, and I hope, you know, I'm sure pretty soon, somewhere, we'll see each other again, and just doing it like this.
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely, man. So yeah, this has been my guest, Toby Valentine. Thank you very much for coming on. And I've been the beer drinking, heavy metal listening, bald-headed brawler CueBall. Stay safe, stay positive. And that's the bottom line, because CueBall said so. Hashtag, yeah.